like to call meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Here.
Mosayan.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Sukasar.
Here.
Sukastopia.
Here.
All right. Presentation of Miss Memphis, Alyssa Baker, and runner-up Jessica Payne.
Hello, everybody.
And you wanted to get a picture of them so they didn't have to sit through our whole meeting? Come on up here.
Over there.
Yeah. Come on up. In front of the pretty tree.
Do you have crowns? We did not. Oh.
Take a picture. Let's take a couple, all right?
You want that one
Sure, get the right one. All right, one more. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Hey, to be Miss Memphis, do you have to be a senior, or doesn't it matter?
I think you have to be 16 through 21.
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, congratulations. Wolf.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes.
Non-agenda items from the sidelines. I have none. Comments from city administration? None.
I have nothing.
None. Chief Fields? None. Bart?
No. I have one item tonight. Well, number 2, I have a failure on. I have a company coming in tomorrow to pull that well. That's as far as I track the problem. It's got to be down in the casing now, whether it's short in the wiring or the motor itself. Don't know that till we pull it. The well hasn't been pulled since 2000. So while it's pulled, I think we should be going through this,
Yeah,
regardless of where they find. And that probably would be right around probably $14,000 expenditure on this current fiscal.
Well, it's an emergency expense. You don't
Yeah.
actually need our permission, so.
Yeah, I can't report a dollar figure, but I'm saying worst case scenario. 14,000.
No, we knew this was coming. We talked about how we put pulling them off.
Every 5 years, I used to pull them for just a routine, and it could cost, in today's rate, about $15,000.
All right. Anybody have any questions for him?
Let's get raised.
All right. And you'll let us know at the next meeting the
Yes.
amount that it costs.
Yeah,
All right. Anything else?
that's it.
Chief Cook?
Nothing other than what's in new business.
Mr. Assessor? Do you have anything? All right. Moving on. Adoption or amendment of the agenda.
There'll be one change in our new business, make it number 9. Instead of the 2011 assessment rule. No further change, I make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
Support. Mosayan.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukastopia.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
All right. Hopefully you've all had a chance to go over the regular meeting minutes of May 21st, 2013. If there's no changes, I'd entertain a motion to accept those.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Schneider.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukastopia.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Mosayan.
Yes.
Presentation and approval of April receipts report for, $62,204.81. Disbursement report for $81,488.82. And electronic wire transfers for $10,235.86. If no one has any questions on those, entertain a motion to accept the receipts and disbursements report and pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lukasar,
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mosayan.
Yeah, can I just ask a question? Can we ever, on these documents, show like what the previous year amount was?
We give that quarterly, but if you want one, we can give you one.
Well, I mean, like, if you're showing what the receipts report was for May, what it was for May of the prior year, just to do a sense check.
Start doing that.
To see if something, you know, what's dramatically changed, if anything.
All right.
Every quarter you get the budget with last year's, this year's projected.
Right. It's
Yes.
every quarter.
All right, communications, there were none. Unfinished business, there was none. New business number one, St. Clair County Parks and Rec, 2013 local millage distribution. I believe that Donna and Bart decided what we needed down at the parks, right? Y'all drove down there and looked around.
Mhm.
What you come up with?
Swing set.
Swing set. Fantastic. So, the amount county millage funds received, $1,563.55. Local funds used $16 per swing set, so we just need approval. And I need to sign this, right?
Me too.
I gotta sign that one. So I just need you guys, I need one of you to, or somebody to make a motion to approve the
Mr.
local
Mayor?
millage request. Yes.
I don't know if I missed a meeting or if there was is this the first that we've talked about this or?
No, we talked about the last, I believe we talked about the fact that how much they were gonna give us at the
Okay.
last meeting, and that you two were gonna go and
Right.
decide where and how we'd like to spend it, and that's what they did, and they got a price.
And this is going to Musial Park, right?
Right.
Yes.
And
It's
so many
only-
park
yeah.
can go in.
Has to be a St. Clair County
Has to be
park.
St. Clair
Do
County.
we got a swing set down there now?
Yeah. Got damage.
Oh,
So we're replacing the old one? Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the amount of $1563.55 and towards the swing set.
support it.
It's good enough to carry my weight, right? Okay.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lukasar,
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mosayan,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. Next is the adoption of the 14.2953 millage rate for next year.
And that's the same as it's been for the last few years.
Yeah, we do this every year. And it's just no change in the millage. So can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion to adopt the millage rate of 14.2953.
Support.
Lukasar,
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mosayan,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
New business number three, police department invoice from Shepherd Sales and Service. It's like they replaced the blower motor, brake pads, rotors, out around and replaced the rear brake pads and rear brake rotors. What else did they replace? AC system, a total of $529.18. And, oh wait, no, that's the next,
Yeah, we got the
next page.
so, yeah.
Labor, okay, a total of $1,069.55. It was just the parts I was talking. So we need a motion to accept that and pay it.
I'll make the motion, we accept it.
And this is all in our budget?
That line number?
Yeah.
Support.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mosayan,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lukasar.
Yes.
I guess on these next two too, we can just have, you're not spending any money you don't have, right? Okay, so it's all in the budget.
That was a lot of
The next is an invoice from Goodyear. Looks like, is it 4 new tires?
Yes.
4 new tires, balance, handling, total of $473.04. Anybody have any questions on that?
Did we try bidding this out to Chuck or not?
No, this price is good through the state of Michigan. It's only good for government agencies.
That's why you had to go all the way to Ferndale to get it?
We didn't, they shipped it right to Richmond.
Right.
Their tires alone, if we were to go other agency or other stores, would be about $100 difference per tire.
But did we bid it out to?
No,
It's a government pricing program, what your tire
It's kinda like-
companies offer, a lot of tire companies will offer that.
We get the same deal as the state does.
Yeah.
So you can't get a better deal.
right,
Yeah.
Right.
Which car is that on?
the Ford 482.
I make a motion we allow the police department to pay the $473.04.
Support.
Davis,
Yes.
Mulsanne,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Next is our invoice for the police department from Core Technology. This is our lean system. And our talent incident management system. This is an annual fee, right? Yeah. We pay it every year. Anybody have any questions on that? If
We
not,
have to have this for our reports, right?
yeah. Can I get a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion.
Support it.
Mulsanne,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes,
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Next is clerk treasurer department invoice from our auditor for correcting, classifying CDBG money and assisting with entries of balance ins and outs and assisting with review of purchasing policy and police department grants and correcting record budget amendments for $427.50. Anybody have any questions on that? Can I get a motion to accept that?
This is all, Donna, this is all part of your budget,
And we have it in our budget, yeah,
and this is what you expect.
yeah. Right on there.
All right.
Any motion?
I make a motion we pay the bill for $427.50 for the treasurer's department.
Support.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mulsanne.
Yeah.
Next is fire department quote for 2 sessions. I think it's 10 members per session, 90-minute class for, what's the class for?
Search and
Yes.
destroy.
Yeah, so forcible
Search and
entry.
destroy.
It says.
So Todd Kania, our second assistant, has planned, he's our training officer, he's planned this. This is a professional organization that teaches forcible entry. So that would be either entering a structure or for the purpose of putting out a fire or saving somebody, or on the flip side, forcible entry on the way out. So if a firefighter was trapped inside a building, teaching methods on how to escape from that building.
Without hurting yourself.
Well, yeah, to get out alive.
Yeah.
And so it's actually a very reasonable price. It is in our budget under in-house training. He kind of held off till later in the year here to make sure we had budget money, but we do within the in-house training line.
I tell you, $550 for 20 people to get trained is very reasonable.
And if we have less than, let's say we have 10, is it half the price?
No, that would be the price up to 20 members. Our last training last month, which we executed down at the Bell River in Pump Ops, we had 17 or 18 members. So this is usually a pretty popular one. So I would say we
So it's a
easily
flat
have 20
fee?
people. Yeah.
Per class, up to 10 people.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions? Can we get a motion to accept this and get the guys trained?
I make that motion, we accept this.
Support.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mulsanne,
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
All right, moving on, salt bin. You all have a copy of the corrective action plan that was sent to the state and an email saying that they had agreed with our corrective action plan, and it's been approved by the state for the cleanup of the salt and putting the salt in a new location or in the existing location into a building, and developing a pollution incident prevention plan within 180 days. Anybody have any questions on that? We've been looking for a location. We had the existing location as one of the only options until earlier today. I met with Lou Grace at Grace Engineering. He had offered land across the street from the DPW, which you have a memo stating that it might not have met setback requirements and dirt removal was necessary, and there may be some other issues. I called Lou Grace and I told him, you know, there's other issues. We have to be at least 200 feet from the well, and I said the only way we could do that is if you would give us your existing garage building on your site, and he agreed to give us that. So now what we need to do, if we could put it there, which, Mark, are you for having it there? If
I
the
think it's a
price
good
is right?
location. It is definitely 200 feet away.
I'll just make a couple comments here. And I noticed you got some memos from me. You got one for your last meeting that the DPW had recommendations and so on. And then I really had concerns. I had major concerns this time. However, I think they've been all addressed, or could be all addressed. And some of those major concerns was, of course, setbacks, dirt removal, and what was the most important of all was the state requirement that it has to be 200 feet away from our wellhead. And if it wasn't, we could actually be condemned. So that was the most important issue, and I was really concerned about that. However, I think with recent information that we have, that with the mayor meeting with Grace Engineering, we possibly now those issues could be addressed. 3 of them are definitely addressed. Though the lot split, as you know, there's all protocol, there's procedures that we're going to follow, and we definitely would have to follow those, where you have to have a certified legal survey and follow the protocol that we've set up. However, I think now with the additional land that we're getting there, what I would like to do is table this possibly for the next meeting. Bart, I would like to have the contractor look at that building and see what the cost would be to make it usable for the salt bin. And once we have the facts and all, and do our due diligence, then we can make an intelligent decision whether we should go or whether we shouldn't. But I think if we were going to go to the current place, there's no question, we just do it. However, I know from a logistics standpoint that would be beneficial to you, and if everything's equal, I'll have no problem with it, as long as we follow the proper procedures and protocol.
So I agree with you, Larry. I was out there, Bart and the mayor, we were out there today. We're real close to that 200-foot rule.
Mhm.
So before I can vote yes, I need to make sure that we're over the 200-foot rule.
Absolutely.
And we're real close, I just need to be careful,
Yeah.
because we're not gonna vote in violation of the rule.
We can't.
So I don't know if the state will come out and look at the site before we approve it and say, this is where we're looking at, is this okay with you?
Well, I think.
But we'll have 2 weeks till our next meeting. We'll have 2 weeks.
Right, and I agree, we need an estimate of the cost,
Yep,
because we've approved 18,000.
right.
And looking at that building today, it shouldn't cost us 18,000 to fix that building.
Now I did I got an estimate on the survey, and it has to be a certified survey with means and bounds, or whatever they call that terminology. And because it's on and the whole property has to be surveyed, all of Grace Engineering, and then survey off what is going to be coming to us. And the cost, because of Bell River there's additional cost because you're surveying around the river and so on. And the just rough estimate at this point is $2,500, so, which is.
Because of the river and because you have to.
I got 1,000 feet of riverfront done for $675.
Yeah, well, this,
Right.
anyway, this is what the estimated cost I got, so let's put the whole package together. Let's make sure we get all the facts together, and, because, you know,
What I'll do also.
we're sitting here and we're responsible for.
I have a question.
Residents' money.
Do we need a
so-
fence still?
Pardon?
We don't need a fence if it's inside of a building, right?
Well,
Well, it's always,
Yeah, I think you do.
DPW.
Think you do.
I think here,
I'm just asking, I don't know.
yeah,
it
I just-
probably should be fenced unless we put a door on it.
yes, and
Yeah.
we'll know more when I have the contractor look. at
Right,
it. Where it's currently located, I always, up to my discretion, there's a gate there and I can lock it. Not that there's no other ways in, obviously.
Is he using that building down there?
No. Well, he's got,
They
he's
do have-
got some stuff in there.
There's some
right?
equipment in there which would
Some
have to
equipment.
be expedited if indeed we decide to
No.
go with that.
Yeah.
No, he's
No,
got
it's
equipment
not
in there,
gonna
it just needs to be taken out.
But I think, if,
You know, I mean,
I was,
Luke-
until Dan mentioned, the mayor mentioned this additional property, I would have been really against this going there, basically because of the 200 feet, because we'd be strict violation of Act, I think it's 399 or something.
At
But now,
399.
You gonna put the
I had
whole
no-
patch over there too?
I have no problem waiting 2 weeks as long as we do our due diligence and get everything right.
Yes, the, wherever the salt bin goes, that would go to.
And here's the thing.
What was
I
the
mean,
other one?
Cold patch.
Bruce, Lou Grace has been very gracious to offer this to the city and say he would do it. He's saying, I'm gonna support the city in any way I can. And he had said yes to the land, and I talked to Bart today and felt, you know what? The land's not enough, and all it took was a phone call to him, and he said, yes, let's make it happen. Our attorney has also agreed. As a matter of fact, I have that. And the problem is the drawing in here is totally wrong now that the building is included as well, but I've got the setback rules. Actually, just pass the rest down, everybody take one. I've got the setback rules for industrial, because it is zoned industrial,
Did you give him a tax free on his property?
as well as
Grace.
No, an IFT.
I've got an email from our city attorney, Alan Francis,
He gets,
that says he'll gladly donate his time to prepare the paperwork necessary for them to donate the Mill Street property to the city. So there won't be any legal fees associated with this at all. Our attorney has offered to donate that,
Yeah,
so.
that was another thing, you know, the
You
setbacks,
get the
I had
tax
a
break,
problem
how much
with
it
it
pays
was
for
gonna go
it.
as it was. So I think those issues are probably addressed, but I prefer to table this for 2 weeks, and then we'll check everything out and try to come back with some,
Quotes and numbers, because we can't really make any decisions without quotes and numbers,
No, we can't.
so.
So I'll make a motion, we table it to next council meeting, which
Support.
is on the
Mill
18th, is
Street
it?
property.
Yeah.
And, yeah, 18.
back to the Mill Street property.
So the plan, is
the yellow
before we
line.
get together again,
That was Mill Street.
we're gonna get some estimates
That
on
was on the Bell
what
River.
needs to be done to the
That's for the
building,
entrance.
the total cost,
Yeah, but the property's
Um,
on Mill Street.
whether or not
It's
there's
almost
a
his
survey
property.
fee, which it sounds like we won't
Survey
have
property.
one. And whether or not we're within the 200 feet.
Right.
Right,
Those are the three things I need.
yeah, we'll get that information.
All right, we got a motion, did we get a second support?
We did.
Okay.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zukasar,
Yes.
Zuka's
Bill, motion to table?
Yeah.
Davis,
Yes.
Mosayan,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. All right, moving on, 2011 assessment, correct? Would you like to speak? Stand up, tell us
Sure.
what's up.
About 2 months ago, we received an email from the state of Michigan that they wanted us to work with them to reconcile the 2011 tax roll, which was taken in 2011. because the assessments did not fall within the standards required by the county equalization departments for both St. Clair and Macomb County. With the state taking over, they've done numerous studies of our properties to see if the information is available to the taxpayers, that it's there, that it's in a standard form as recognized by the State Tax Commission. And I believe truly that it's the Tax Commission's desire to make sure that the public is treated properly, that the information is available, and that we can explain this process of taxation. They've been fairly, I say, aggressive in their approach in the past couple of years with some of the changes at the Tax Commission to try to reach compliance with local units of government, and they have since gone to selecting target areas, whole counties, that they're planning to do reviews on. It's possible that Macomb County could be this next year. I know Washtenaw County, I believe, was this past year. It is in the public's interest. At the time that the Tax Commission took over the assessment role, the city was informed at that time that the costs of the review and the time that the Tax Commission had would be billed back to the city. We were estimating at that time, at least in my conversations with the mayor and with other people, I thought it would be around $2,500. So I'm not surprised that the costs are at $3,000. They have been helpful. The state has been helpful, and they've worked with us. And I think they're confident that we're moving forward, and that's really what they're trying to do.
Now, the only thing that concerns me, at one time I wrote a letter stating our situation and kind of telling on ourselves to Kelly.
Sure.
And she had said through that she would waive any fines and I thought fees.
Well, I was of the understanding from the beginning that,
So I need to look for a letter from her, because if I recall correctly, there was a letter at one point from the state saying that because we were proactive, that we wouldn't be hit. Now, if there's any that of this amount that's considered a fine, I knew they were waiving the fine.
okay, I wasn't aware of, I don't know what the state standards are for fines.
Okay.
I was aware or of the belief that we would pay for the time of the Tax Commission.
Okay.
Don't we already pay for the time? The
Well,
tax commission?
I would like I mean, I have no problem paying if it's necessary, but if there's something in this that could be waived, that's.
Sure.
This does say billed for costs associated with the assumption of jurisdiction. I'm not sure just what that means, but.
And when did they decide that the whole state needed to be reassessed?
Well, it's.
2008?
And do we?
Well, I appreciate it. The Tax Commission has the right and the obligation in this process called equalization. It is the checks and balances. So I think from the standpoint that, as we talked before the meeting, a little bit of frustration in that it didn't happen overnight and that we didn't want to see this happen. We can't fault the Tax Commission at this point for doing what. But we can't, when they're doing what is in the best interest of the public. Right now, we're feeling the backlash in terms of a bill for $3,000. I understand that.
My point is this: the state decided they were going to reassess every piece of property in the state of Michigan, right?
No, the state is not responsible for the reassessment. The assessments are at a local jurisdiction, a local.
Well, no, we got a notice that said we
Unfunded
had to
mandate.
remeasure
Yes.
and reassess all of our property, right?
Yes.
Well, they didn't give us any money for that. Nobody paid for that. Our citizens had to pay for all this extra reassessing. It wasn't in our budget. It went over, and obviously our assessor was overwhelmed by it because she couldn't get it done.
Right.
So at the time we were told to do something, we weren't able to do it. They didn't give us any help at the time, and now that the train has gone off the tracks, they're going to come back and say, well, now you need to give us an extra $3,000 for our time.
Let me give
But
you
what about our time?
Let me give you an honest answer to that, in terms of being very realistic. when the pledge was made to the state of Michigan the first time, and I wasn't here for that, but I've been down this road and I've seen this happen. What would have happened was we said, well, we have somebody on staff and we think that we can do it in-house, and we're going to do that if it's allowable, and the state allowed that to happen at a cost of, I believe, was $25,000 over a 2-year period. And I'm pulling numbers out from what I recall people
Sounds right.
telling me.
15 and 10.
Okay. If you would have indicated at that time to the state that you didn't think that the person that you had doing it was capable of doing it, they would have hired a company like Landmark Appraisal to come in and do a reappraisal at a cost of as much as $35 to $50 per parcel, which would have been far higher than the $25,000 that you paid. Now, $25,000 would have been pretty good, it would have been a bargain if she would have accomplished what you paid for.
Okay, regardless, I would like to table this to the next meeting. Having 30 days to pay isn't a big deal. We got this on the 29th. I would like to look for that letter, see if I can find a letter from the state that says they're waiving fines and fees. And if I can find that, then I would like to respond to them with a copy of that letter. But I need time to find it, so I would like to table this if I can get a motion to table it.
Well, can I ask you a question, because we just got this as we walked in.
Can I get support to table it?
Wait, I have a question for you, Jim. What are we saying here, that you assessed 8.4 million, and they're coming back saying it should be 7.4 million?
Not him.
It wasn't, actually, I wasn't responsible for any of the 2011 numbers. Those were
The prior assessor?
the prior assessor.
Okay, so they're saying because we over-assessed,
Right.
that they're hitting us with this $3,000 fee?
Well, the $3,000 fee, from my understanding, is supposed to represent the time and cost that the tax commission has in specifically dealing with this issue, in their analysis and their time and their travel, as it relates to this problem. Now, the question was raised.
Well, who came up with the new number? Not you, but the
Then
prior assessor?
that was actually a part of the process that we call equalization, where between the state and the county, they look at the studies that are done to measure the level of assessment and changes based on different classifications of property.
Well, what are they saying? Our assessor over-assessed the citizen?
The assessor didn't recognize the findings of the state and the county, and they were in concurrence, to lower those values by that amount. Had the assessor...
And we got a factor.
And you got a factor.
That's what the factor
That's what the factor is the modifier that takes that value down to where the equalization studies came in.
And the people were taxed after the factor, not before. They were taxed
I
on
mean,
that
you're
rate.
talking percentage-wise, that's a huge change.
Well, and you've seen the result of that, actually, in the last 2 years. And it's a big part of why you've seen a reduction in the value.
Well, I haven't, but,
Well, you have in terms of the budget that you have to work with.
yeah, the
And
budget,
as
not
it-
my personal home.
I think the good news is the market is starting to turn around, and hopefully we won't see greater decline going into the future.
We've seen that, since 2009,
St. Clair.
and according to the figures I looked at, we've lost $81,000 in the property tax. But I'm hoping at the 326 we're at this year, that's the base, and we'll start creeping up. We won't creep up near as fast as we went down.
Sure.
Yeah, so
Can I get support? Is there support for the motion on the table?
I made a motion to table it to next week.
Support.
Thank you.
Sukasar,
Yes.
SukasW,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Alsayan,
I'm gonna pass.
Well, this is just to table it to the next meeting, so
Oh,
I'll find
all
that
right.
letter.
All right, that's fine.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver, Wilson.
Yes.
All right, other new business from the mayor. I have nothing. We talked about everything I wanted to talk about. So, new business from city council, Larry?
Yes, the Girl Scout troop, under the troop leader, let's see, Renee Keeler, is that how you pronounce it? Anyway, I would like to thank them for the flowers they put in the park up there. It looks nice, and if I knew who donated the flowers, I would thank them too, but I don't know who did. Do you know?
I do not know.
Okay, well, I thank them anyway.
I seen them in the flats and then I seen them, yeah, planted.
Yeah, okay. That's all I have.
Robbie, have it?
No, I went and saw Forest Hill there today.
Yeah, they done a nice
He
job.
said you went over and worked it up for him. Previous.
Oh, yeah.
Frank, you have it?
No, nothing.
Guy?
Nothing.
I have nothing, Mr. Mayor.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn? Thank you.